in volume 1, I have a simple exercise that even sounds like this, okay? A very simple exercise. Now look how simple this is. Let's see what's working. Now this is just some the beginners do at the beginning, right? And let's say what you have to do now is you just have to listen. I'm going to call out certain notes. So it's called Rob Says, right? So I'm going to repeat. I'm going to say, because playing by ear is just playing what you hear. It's just a call and response, just mimicking. When I started playing, all I did was I didn't understand how to play growing up. I just started to mimic people. I just started to play what they played. And I used the two NEQ music principles, which was playing by ear, and just used, I guess I'm playing by ear and also playing in every key, right? But what I did is I played the song by ear and I used the NEQ music principles on how to figure out and hear each different note, and then I identified them as a number. And once I did that, I got used to the sound of the numbers. Now that took me a lot of years to perfect, and it took me like, from when I was 7 all the way till I was like 18. So that's like 11 years or more. I don't even have the numbers right that. However, right? But I would do that to learn the numbers. Now, obviously, I have, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds playing by ear and playing in every key. I'm going to put more videos of that up, right? Learning this system, and they're doing exactly what I'm saying, okay? And I get excited about that. So I cut their whole lifetime of playing all the way down, because if you can't play in every key, it's going to have a hard time playing. And I'm going to show you something very quick after on how this applies to chords and why it's important that you got to hear the numbers. And that's what I focus on at the beginning of AKMS. If you're an intermediate player, within 90 days, you will be playing in every single key. That's if you complete all the exercises from volume 1 to volume 2, right? Okay, so it does depend on you. Okay, if I had someone that said, well, Robert, I can't play by ear because I skipped over stuff. I didn't do what you told me to do. Certain things sounded like it was irrelevant, so I didn't do it. I'm like, okay, well, that's why you didn't get any results. Just try it my way. Just complete every level, and then we'll take it from there. But let's say we're here, okay? So here's the exercise. The exercise is just call and response. I'm going to call out 2 letters, right? So I may say C, D. What you have to say is repeat what I said, because that's what playing by ear is. So if I say C, D, you'll say C, D. Then I'm going to say and play C, D, and then you have to say and play C, D. And then we have to say and play together C, D, C, D, C, D. So I'll say that again. So let's say I said C, C. What will you say? C, C. Then I'm going to say and play C, C. Then you're going to say and play C, C. And then we're going to say and play together C, 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 C. Got it? All right. So here we go.
Okay, are you ready?
I am.
Like I promised, it's going to be just a little bit faster.
All right,
But the same rules apply.
This is volume 1
says,
entry level.
Here we go.
Within the first week, all right?
2, 3, 4. G, B.
Now you say it G, B.
G, B.
And now I say and play G, B together 3 times.
G, B, G, B, G, B.
All right?
G, C.
And now I'm going to say it G, C.
G, C.
And I'm going to say and play G, C together 3 times.
G, C, G, C, G, C.
Now when you're doing it, you don't have to be at the exact octave. This exercise is not trying to get you to do perfect pitch where you have to know exactly that it's G and this C. You could have played G, C, or G, C. It doesn't matter. The purpose of this exercise is just for you to get, once again, these are beginners within the first couple days, is just to get them comfortable with the notes. But guess what's happening by doing just that simple exercise? Their ears are getting worked and getting used to the sound, even when they don't even know it. So that's why the exercises work. The exercises work because there's a lot of wax on, wax off. I do this Karate Kid example where, the Karate Kid is just learning how to clean. Well, he wants to learn karate, but the master has him doing, cleaning and all that kind of stuff. And then later on, he's like, I want to learn, gets mad and I want to learn karate. And the master says, okay, show me cleaning. Show me waxing on, wax off and stuff. And before you know it, he's playing not playing. he's doing karate. And that's what the NEQ music system does. Because now what we can do with that, let's do that again, as we get more advanced. This is what we do.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Like I promised,
Watch
it's going to
this.
be just a little bit faster.
We're going to add chords to
Same
this
rules apply.
because we learned the principles
Rob
later.
says, 2s, here we go.
So here we go.
2, 3, 4. G, B.
And then I'm going to say G, B, and he's going to go,
G, B.
and I can think of it as a 5, right?
G, B, G, B, G, B.
Right? So even just that, but basically we're going to be able to add chords to that because we know the sound. So now G and B turned into something else for me. It turned into a 5, which was a 5 of C, B, which was the 7. So I know how to do chords, all right? So let me just cover something here just very quickly, okay? Something here regarding this, okay? So why you're going to need to know numbers. Now, the thing is, you do know the sound of numbers, but we got to do a lot of exercises like this that are non-pressure exercises that just allow you to develop your ear on a non-pressure level, and it seems so simple. That's what the exercises seem. I get that all the time. Man, this seems so simple to complete. I just did a webinar. I told them, listen, a lot of you have, no, not a lot of them, but when you first come to NEQ Music, the temptation is to skip over basic exercise like that. But I said, let me tell you what's in that. That's giving you the ability to recognize the sound, right? Because later on, we're going to identify this as your 1 and 3, or your 5 and 7, or your 4 and 6, right? It's going to be those particular numbers, right? It can even be the 2 and the flat 5, right? So there's that sound you're going to know, and indirectly you're going to be knowing intervals, but we don't focus on intervals. We're not focused on each letter, we're focused on the sentence, so we identify as a number. So this is what happens now. Now that we identified that, look at this. How was I able to put those chords? So now let's say we just heard G, B. Now what is G, B? G is a 5, G is a 7. So, right, so if we have G, I'm going to put the number, we have a 5, and we have, let's say it's 4 beats, and then 7. So basically, let's say it's G, or 5, 7, right? In the key of C, 5, right? 7, okay? So how can we now do chords? Now the thing with chords, I need to use chords. To use this, not like just saying, okay, these are the chords. You have to understand principles. Now what principles? In volume 3, or one of the NEQ Music principles, is a principles called indicator notes. Indicator notes indicate to us what chord we can and can't play and cannot play. So once we know the indicator notes, then those are going to teach us, and those are going to tell us how to put the chords. And once you understand the sound of 5 and 7, and you understand indicator notes, then it won't be a surprise when you hear someone playing. So what am I saying? So for example, in the 1 chord, you're an intermediate player, you know that the 1 chord contains the 1, the 3, and the 6. Oh, sorry, if you wrote 6 on the test, you would get a mistake, all right? So I would have gotten a mistake there, and I know what I was thinking in my head, right? But it's a 1, 3, 5, okay? So, and I played it, you heard it, but I don't know why I said 6. I must have been thinking about something. Not sure what. I must have been thinking about 6, okay? But anyhow, we have the 1 chord, and it has the 1, the 3, and the 5 in it, right? So because the 1 chord has the 5 in it, guess what? You can use that chord because it's in the chord. Did you think it was going to be harder than that? Okay, so basically, I'll say that again. If you didn't get that, just type on the board, Robert, I didn't get that, say it again. All right, so I'll say it again. The 1 chord, let's say in the key of C, is C, the major, and it has C, E, G in it, so therefore it's the 1, 3, 5, okay? Right, because the 5 is in there, I can play the 1 chord. So guess what I do? I put the 1 chord in it. So now, here's my 1 chord, okay? So I have, so that's my 5, the melody, and now I'm going to play the 1 chord, and then now I have to play a 7. Now what chord did you play? This is what I teach. I always teach that every single song, if we stripped off all the layers, stripped off all the fills, and stripped off everything out of that song, I can pinpoint every song back to a 1, 4, and 5. Right? This is the foundation of music, right? If you know how to use a 1, 4, and 5, and if you're intermediate, you guys know 1, 4, and 5. 1, 4, and 5 in C is C, F, G, and all we did was put a major chord with that, right? I can, every song, so even if I played, right, as I'm doing in another key, or another key. Now that wasn't part of my example, but what I'm showing you, I'll do it in the key of D because you don't usually hear Furious. I know I didn't pronounce it properly, but I didn't say I did this in another key. I'm in the key of D, all right, which is B minor. So that chord are what they have indicator notes. So really, even though it has the minor and it has the dominant there, it would sound like this as a 1, 4, 5. Right? So, but it doesn't, it's that better sound. I mean, Beethoven did it better. You know, it sounds like this. That sounds better. Okay, that sounds a lot better because all he did was added principles that made it sound like that. And in my webinars, live webinars like this, because my Any Key Music members have the course, they understand the language, and I break down all the principles that those great geniuses did to build it up to where it is. But I can always stem back to the 4, 5, right? And I can do that. And obviously, I'm doing it in a different key, right? That's indicator notes. So now, if we had the 7, right? What chord has the 7 in it? Well, let me just spare you some time. Well, if we went to our G chord, or 5, in the key of C, the 5 is G. In the G major chord, we have a G, a B, and a D, right? So did you hear B in there? The 7, B, yes. So therefore, I can use my 5 chord, okay? So therefore, if I have this now, if I have that's basic. But if I get someone to that level, which I do, they're sitting on a gold mine, because this is eventually, or is this, right? All what I did, I just added principles to this, principles like substitutions, approaches. You know, I didn't even put chutz in that. I didn't use the diminished chord, the diminished principle, and so forth. All we have to do, so the most important part that I get people to do is just how to play 1, 4, and 5. And it's very simple. Just get your chord and find the notes that land on that first beat. Those are your indicator notes that reveal this. And once you understand that, then you can go, or, right? Those are principles added just from a basic thing. And that's what I teach in the course, how to come up with those arrangements. But you can only come up with those arrangements once you understand this. Now if this is doable, then I guarantee everything else that I teach here is very doable. All right? So that's why it's important to play by ear, right? Or so let me say only play by ear. That's why it's important to understand what you are hearing. So when I'm listening, if I heard that on the radio, immediately, so because I understand bonjour and the context of bonjour, then when I hear somebody else play it, I'm like, okay, I know that his only options at the beginning level is 1 and 5. So now when I hear it in a song, it's not like I'm guessing or I have to use some special ability. I know that those are his only options. Most people, when you play, most of you can figure out a melody. Some of you may even say, yeah, Robert, I can touch notes and figure out, you know, melodies of songs, just one note, but I can't put those big chords and all that stuff. I'm like, you have it backwards, right? You have to be able to identify the melody. Once you're able to identify the melody, then we can unlock the chords, okay? So the first step is I got to get you here, which doesn't take long. I've seen people do this in 3 months or 2 months and get to this level. I'm talking about get to that level and start getting really advanced, but they put a lot of time into it. The Any Key Music System is a 2-year course, a 1 to 2 year course, and you want to get a lot of results. Okay, or you will be able to get a lot of results by following its simple steps with simple exercises like I just shown you, right? And that is 1 out of the 20 hours of instruction on the regular audio exercises. On top of that, you get like, archive webinars. So you have like 40 hours of of additional video training breakdowns with second shots where you can see, you're not going to see just what I'm doing. When I teach it in NQ Music System, I teach it based on understanding, and when you see me do it based on understanding what I'm talking about, it's a lot easier to ingest. So you're not trying to copy what finger or what note did you play. You're not going to have to do all of that crazy stuff. I wouldn't say crazy stuff, but unfortunate stuff that you don't have to do. To play by ear, you just have to be empowered to understand the language.
Is it possible to play any song on the piano without the need for sheet music? Well, each year, millions of people take traditional piano lessons with hopes of being able to play the songs they hear on the radio by ear. Fast forward about 10 years, and over $10,000 later, they are still unable to do so. Is there an alternative? Robert Chambers was 3 when he wanted to take lessons, but was turned down by a traditional music teacher. Though he was very sad, that did not discourage him. It only fueled his competitive nature. Robert decided that he would not only figure out how to play any song on piano on his own, but he would develop a method that would enable everyone else to do the same. Today, that method is known as the Any Key Music System, a proven course enabling people to master the art of playing piano by ear in 1 year. For more info, visit www.anykeymusic.com or call 1-866-926-5783.